Hi guys, Mr. Roberts here. So what we're going to look at today, something quite fun, and we're going to call it Super Silly Stories. And this is an activity which is going to need to be done with some friends. So we can call it maybe Super Silly Stories with friends. Now, how this works is you're going to need a small group of you. So it could be maybe 3 people, 4, 5, 6. Anywhere between 3 to 6 is fine. And although it's like stories, we're only going to be writing like very short stories, and it's more for entertainment purposes because this is something that's supposed to be fun, and I'm sure you will enjoy the end result. So your first step, which you're going to need to do, is plan out a little story. Now it doesn't need to be anything detailed, and you just need to split it into 6. So what I've done, rather than even doing any writing for the first part, I just drew a little storyboard. So I divided my whiteboard up, and obviously you can do this in paper if you don't have your whiteboard. I divided my story up, so I've got 6 parts to it, 6 boxes. So it starts here, moves along here, and then finishes there. So I've got an idea of what I'm going to say in my story. So for example, this part here, there's this man, this character, who's strolling through a forest. This part here, he strolls along and he finds some kind of, I don't know, something on the floor which looks interesting. He digs it up, finds a treasure chest. Inside the treasure chest comes out this strange creature. It's flying towards him, chasing him here, so as you can see he's running away. And then he runs away so far, he's so scared that he gets on a plane and he flies to somewhere else, okay? So that's the first part that you're gonna need to do. Now, when you're doing your planning part, as I said, just split your page or your whiteboard into 6 and make sure you don't tell your friends, your group that you're working with, what is on your storyboard. So try and keep it to yourself. So, once you're done and you made sure that everyone has got their own mini story of 6 parts, that's when we can begin the writing, because as we said, super silly stories. So let's have a look at what I do next. So for the next part, you're going to need a couple of sheets of paper. You could use any kind of paper you like, scrap paper, because it's not going to be something that you're going to put on your peg of pride or anything like that. It's just a silly, fun activity which you will hopefully enjoy. And what I'm going to do first of all, so I get my blank piece of paper, and I'm going to be writing just the first part on that bit of paper. So my first part here, as I said, I've got a man who's going for a stroll through the woods. So I do my writing, and I've written just the first part. So I did this one earlier to show you what I mean. So it says, once there was a curious man who went for a stroll in the gloomy forest. Okay, so that's my part 1, as you saw in this storyboard which I've got here. Now, when I'm done with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that part backwards, like so, so you can no longer see it. Okay, so now my bit of paper looks like this. The bit that I've written, I folded backwards, so it looks like that. And once we're finished, we need to wait for every one of our friends, so all of your group of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, you need to wait for all of your group to finish writing that first part, and then what you're going to do is you're going to swap. So you're going to pass them round. So for example, if you've got a group of 6, you might want to pass it to the left, or if you're in a group of 3, same thing, you can pass to the left, pass to the right, but you're going to pass them round. But you make sure when you pass it on that your partner does not see what you have written, because you folded it behind, so when you pass it to them, it's going to look like that. So, the next step, you get given a bit of paper. So this is obviously the second bit of paper, which has got writing already behind it, and I'm not going to look at the writing which is behind it, okay, because that will spoil it, the fun part at the end. So what you're going to do now is you are going to add the second part. So you look back at your storyboard, you add your second part, you write, and then you do exactly the same. So if I'm writing my second part, I don't need to go into lots of detail. I say, for example, then a man stumbled across something strange on the ground, so he went for a closer look. So not very long, I'm not doing lots of sentences, this is not supposed to be an extended writing task. just a bit of fun. So, after I've written that part, I do exactly the same again. I take my bit of paper and I fold it backwards. Okay, I fold it backwards so that when I'm finished, it looks like this. So once again, when I pass it on, the next person who gets it does not see anything that I've written so far. Okay? Then you repeat that process. So you need to swap round your paper 6 times because we've got 6 parts to our story. And after you've swapped it round 6 times, eventually you are going to have a complete story. Now, how you choose to do it at the end is up to you. Okay? So you may wish to stop everyone and read up the stories from the beginning one by one, or you may choose to kind of read them in your own time, and if there's any fun parts, you can share them. Now, I'm not going to ruin the surprise what happens at the end, but all I will say is it does produce some good laughs, and it is fun when you unfold them, because what you're going to end up with is maybe part 1 of your story, then part 2 from your second friend, part 3 from your third friend, and so on and so forth. So, good luck with it, guys. Let me know how you get on. Hopefully you enjoy it.